Hello.
Hello,
And welcome to the Book Doctor's YouTube channel.
Hi, everybody.
Audience.
We ask, when we do a workshop, a class, whatever, we ask people, what's the most important thing to making a successful book? And literally no one knows the answer. She's already given it away.
Audience.
Audience.
And when we teach a class and we ask people to go around the room and talk about who's they think
audience?
their audience is, people feel flummoxed and don't know how to answer the question.
Really bright, articulate people who are engaged in many aspects of their life go, I don't know. Why are you asking me that? Please stop asking me who my audience is. It's
Exactly.
really making me upset.
Now, one of our favorite stories about audience to illustrate how to know who your audience is
And why it's important.
quite perfectly
Yes.
is that we know an author who worked in a hobby gaming
Old
kind
school,
of old school
25
shop.
years ago.
Yep. And people would come in on a regular basis and say, do you
Dude,
have any kits or books
I need to make a robot.
on how to make a robot?
Please.
Now, it just so happened he knew
Our
how
man,
to build a robot.
he did, yes.
But there were no kits and there were no books about the subject.
No.
So he went to his local Xerox shop
Typed up his pages, how to build a robot.
and then bound them, Xeroxed them, bound them, and sold them for a really nice sum of money. I think it was about $30, something like that. Maybe it was even $80.
It might have been $80.
I feel like it might have been $80.
Yeah.
And over 10 years, he sold something like 20 or 30,000 copies. Now, this was self-published.
Yeah, well,
There was
self-publishing in the crudest sense of that word.
There was some cost to the Xeroxing, but I'm going to let you do the math. 20 to 30,000 copies, $80 a book. Even if he made $20 a book,
That's over $30 million.
That's over $30 million.
No, wait a minute. I'm not good at math. But it's a lot of money.
Now, how did he sell these copies? He sold them because he knew where his audience was. They were in hobby and game shops just like his around the country. And what did he do?
So he's really smart. He goes and interviews all these people who sell stuff and own hobby stores. And he says, well, what kind of books sell here? And everybody tells him, oh, you need to put a little like gold sticker on the front cover. Those books really fly off the shelf. So guess what he did? Put a little gold sticker on the front of his book.
And then guess what we did?
We did the same thing.
If you look at our book, The Essential Guide to Getting Your Book Published, you will see a gold seal. We stole that idea.
We totally did.
Yeah.
I mean,
or as an homage.
it's an homage.
Yeah.
As opposed to a theft.
So this guy knew exactly where his audience is. So, for example, we were teaching a master class tonight, and we have a young woman in our class who's writing fantasy fiction.
Yeah.
And she also writes fan fiction on the side. And she has all these followers on Wattpad. And what was the other one called?
In Your Face? No, I don't know.
I feel like I might have written it down. But some cool young people writing fan
Where you
fiction.
put your stuff up
all
and
good
people
things.
read it.
All good things, I think it was called. So she has a following on both of these sites. She knows where her readers are.
She does.
She goes to Comic-Con. She makes certain kind of jewelry.
She works in a gaming store.
She works in a gaming store. She's like right there with her audience. Whereas a lot of people who are writing fiction are like, I don't know, people go to bookstores. Those are the people who are going to be my audience.
Women.
Women.
Those are my humans.
So we try and chop audiences up.
Well, not literally. Yeah, not literally.
Into different circles. Some of them are like a Venn diagram that cross each other. Some don't. Some are inner circles and outer circles. So let's say you're writing a memoir that has to do with a mental health issue. Like that was our dog shaking, by the way, if you heard a weird sound.
He's got mental health issues also, frankly.
It's true. So if mental health issues are a part of your book, you might do workshops with different, if it has to do with OCD organizations or what have you, even though it's a novel.
Right.
You want to tell the Lisa Genova story?
Yeah, so this woman in our book, Lisa Genova, she wrote a novel about Alzheimer's because it affected her and her family. And everybody in publishing said, oh, God, that's so depressing. Who wants to read about Alzheimer's? Nobody. Well, they were wrong. There's millions of people who are affected, whether it's a loved one or family member, whoever, by Alzheimer's. So she wrote her novel. She went to the local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association of America, whatever it's called, and offered to do a guest blog, just a little guest blog. Well, the guest blog did very well because people are hungry for this stuff. She knew her audience was hungry for stories that they could relate to because there were none out there. So the guest blog led to speaking at the local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association of America. And the talk went really well. She's a great speaker. She's smart. She's telling a story that hasn't quite been told yet. And it went so well. And in fact, she was invited to the become a keynote speaker at the national conference for the Alzheimer's Association of America. And that talk blew up. And all of a sudden, she had a giant audience of people who were wildly passionate about her book.
And she got a 2-book,
Seven
seven-figure
figures.
deal. And that first book is called Still Alice. I don't know if you said that, which became a movie starring Julianne Moore, et cetera, et cetera. So audience is critical. And before you even start querying for your book, you have to understand who your audience is and how you are going to reach them.
If you show up at a publisher or an agent's office and say, I have 100,000 people who want to buy my book, and here they are on this list here, you will get a book deal. It doesn't matter what your book is about. That seems a little depressing, and yet that's the way the world is now. Publishers, they want you to show up with your tribe already. It's a little bit like an old-fashioned marriage where you have a dowry. Here's my 50 sheep. Please marry me.
So go find your audience.
Find your audience, baby.
If you have questions, please put them in the comments below. You can contact us at via email and go to our website, www.thebookdoctors.com. We'd love to hear from you. Sign up for our newsletter.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Exactly.
Sure.
All right, everybody.
See you at the bookstore.